Ukrainian forces deliver rocket strike on central Donetsk first time since September 18. Ukrainian forces have struck central Donetsk with rockets for the first time since September 18, said the DPR mission at the Joint Center for the Control and Coordination of Issues Related to War Crimes by Ukraine. 3 rockets were fired from a multiple launch rocket system at 4:25 p.m. Moscow time, the mission said on Telegram. The previous shelling of central Donetsk was reported on September 18. At that time, Ukrainian troops hit administrative buildings. Russian forces destroy over 8,700 military drones in Ukraine operation. Russian forces have destroyed over 8,700 unmanned aerial vehicles of the Ukrainian army since the start of the special military operation in Ukraine, Russia's defense ministry reported on Tuesday. In all, the following targets have been destroyed since the start of the special military operation: 527 warplanes, 254 helicopters, 8,702 unmanned aerial vehicles, 441 surface-to-air missile systems, 13,244 tanks and other armored combat vehicles, 1,182 multiple rocket launchers, 7,001 field artillery guns and mortars and 15,064 special military motor vehicles, the ministry said in a statement. Russian forces strike Ukrainian troops, equipment in 105 areas over past day. Russian forces inflicted damage on Ukrainian troops and military hardware in 105 areas over the past day, the ministry reported. Operational tactical and army aircraft, unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops and artillery of the Russian groupings of forces inflicted damage on Ukrainian manpower and military equipment in 105 areas, the ministry said. Russia uses S-400 in Ukraine to launch missiles with active homing warheads. The Russian army has used S-400 Triumph systems to launch anti-aircraft guided missiles with active homing heads, a source close to the Russian Defense Ministry has told TASS. Russia used S-400 Triumph system in tandem with the A-50 early warning and control aircraft in the special military operation in Ukraine. S-400s launched anti-aircraft missiles with active homing heads. The system's use against enemy aircraft was successful, the source. TASS has no official confirmation of this. Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu said the army's new anti-aircraft missile systems shot down 24 Ukrainian aircraft in 5 days. According to another source, the S-400 missiles were fired at maximum distances to hit targets at altitudes of about 1,000 meters. New warheads were reportedly used. Ukrainian forces fire over 60 rounds at Russia's Belgorod region in past day. The Ukrainian military fired over 60 munitions at population centers in Russia's borderline Belgorod region over the past 24 hours, regional governor Vyacheslav Gladkov said on Telegram. 4 artillery shells were fired at the Krasny Khutor village in the Belgorodsky district and another 4 at the Zhuravlyovka village. 3 explosive devices were dropped on the Solntsevka village by a drone. No casualties or damage were reported in either of the villages, he wrote. The Ukrainian army fired 14 mortar shells and a grenade at the outskirts of the Stary farming community in the Volokhovsky district. An explosive device was dropped by a drone on its outskirts. In the Gravoronsky urban district, 2 mortar shells were fired at the outskirts of the Dranovka village and 5 artillery shells at the outskirts of the Zamosty village. 15 grenades were fired at the Sarita village in the Shebekinsky district, and a shrapnel munition was dropped by a drone. The Novaya Tavolzhenka settlement came under mortar fire, 4 shells were fired. An enemy quadcopter was forced down and destroyed in the settlement. 7 mortar shells were fired at the Mariino farming community, 3 at the Pankov farming community and another 2 at the Shebekino border checkpoint. There were no casualties or damage, the governor added. Israel demands evacuation from Al-Rantizi Children's Hospital as it readies strike. The Israeli military is preparing to strike the Al-Rantizi Children's Hospital in the Gaza Strip and have asked staff to evacuate people from the building, Al Jazeera reported, citing an unidentified official at Gaza's health ministry. The official said the lives of at least 70 children are in danger because of the impending strike. The Gazan ministry called on the international community to interfere in the situation to avert the attack. The Israel Defense Forces hasn't yet commented on the report. On November 6, the Palestinian Enclave's health ministry said on Facebook, banned in Russia as it's owned by Meta Corporation, which is designated as extremist in Russia, that at least 8 people were killed in Israeli shelling of hospitals in the central parts of Gaza Strip. 4 of them were killed in an attack on an ophthalmology hospital, while another 4 were killed in a strike on the Al-Rantizi Children's Hospital. The medical institutions are not far from each other.